Good morning and welcome to another edition of Outsider Genie, where we have racing today from the Vaal Classic Track. Before we look at our preview, race by race preview, just a few things that I want to mention. Um, for the for the purpose of people who are receiving this for the first time, Outsider Genie is not a tipping service. We do uh, form analysis of the horses, and I then give selections to the punters in order of uh, possible outsiders that I think that can win a race. Because obviously you are a punter because you want to make money, and to punt favorites, there's no value in punting favorites. So everybody is looking for the elusive outsiders. So what we do is we give outsider selections that can possibly win or place in a race, and then you then um, add on to your selections in whatever play you have, and um, our selections are used for different purposes. Some people use them in their PAs, some use them in their pick sixes, their quartets, trifectas, swingers, whatever their favorite play is. So we do offer a daily subscription service where you can subscribe to receive our daily form analysis, and we can give you a race by race selection. We give you an outright winner. That is the horse that we think can possibly win the race, and then two possible outsider selections. We can either win or place. We normally advise people to play the outsider selections each way. So if he doesn't win, because we do find that they often run a place. We had instances over the weekend, um, or I think it was Monday on Fairview, I'm not sure, where horses that we tipped ran in the placings paying R6 a place. So that is not bad. Yeah, that was on Saturday and different, and I remember now. There was two horses that I tipped as outsider selections, and they ran, I think both of them, I think the one ran second, the other one third, paying R6 a place. Then we also give value bets. Normally they're 6 to 1 and longer, but now and then we find it on a card that that's that I might give a shorter price selection, but they're normally 6 to 1 and higher. Best bet of the day. I don't give odds on. I try and give decent value. I've even given best bets as high as 6 to 1. Last week at the Vaal, I gave the guys Rouge Allure. That was like 7 to 2, and it won by 5 lengths, and that was our best bet of the day. Then we also give you trifectas and quartet selection that you can play. You can play a percentage that suits your pocket, and we often find that we do tip them. Last week, I tipped in one race meeting. I tipped 3 quartets in a row, paying R800, 1,700, 1,300, which is not bad money. And we also give you affordable PA, normally not more than R96. We did tip one recently that paid well, and we had it like 16 times. And then we also try and give you affordable PA for 1%, normally not more than R150, and you can then add on to your whatever selections you have and play according to what your pockets suit. We do have an offer for July. You subscribe now, you pay 400 rand for the rest of the month, but 100 rand of that we will put aside. So on July day, you will then be you will then get 50%. And we're going to use 50% towards playing a pick six, 25 for a P, and 25% for a jackpot. And then we will put the tickets on a Vodacom group I will set up for the people who are participating in this. And then profit will be divided between the subscribers as to how much money you put in, because you might decide, listen, I'm going to put in 200 rand instead of 100 rand, but we will discuss that later when we get nearer to the July. And also, Pierre Strydom has agreed to give outsider selections a race by race preview of the day's races, and then we will try and post that a day or two before the event so that you can have a listen to it. Then on the July day, I will give a general preview that I will post on all the groups that will be for free on races 1, 2, 3, and then 10, 11, and 12. But the following will only be available to subscribers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make 6 videos of video each of race 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So where I'll then do an in-depth discussion of the horses' chances in each race, and then I will also then give me my selections in that race, as well as our suggested trifecta, quartets, bipod, pick 6PA, and jackpot selections. To subscribe to my service, you can dial 083 585 5133. You can just WhatsApp, and then I will respond to your WhatsApp. Normally, at this stage, we look at the previous day's winners, but unfortunately, that was cancelled. So I just want to quickly just mention a few of the horses that we've tipped recently. On the 27th of July, we tipped Ronnie's Candy 20-1, and also Riverine to win the Computerville Sprint. And then on the 1st of July at Gravel, I tipped the nice one, and Mrs. Hotline, 25-1. And then on the 5th of July at Turventine, I tipped this horse, Kingsley's Heart, at 66-1. So we do find the outsiders. So let's now move to the to our preview of the day's racing. We're going to kick off with the first race with Work Riders Maiden. I'm saying, yeah, today's racing looks interesting. There's a few races that going to be difficult, and then there might be 1 or 2 races that you don't have to go too wild. So normally I first look at the betting. So let's have a look at the betting. Back to the top. All right, here's the betting. Is number 1 Castle Queen, 22-10. 2 Akron Valley, 22-10. 14 Chloe Girl, 5-1. Last year, 6-1. Mother of the World, 20-1. 20-1 Arabian Queen, and betted the rest. So if we look at race 1, there's a few horses that have chances. Sam Assure, he's a very competent rider. He's rising number 1, Council Queen. Has been running there and thereabouts. Last time just got beaten on the line. We just want to check the distance again here, 2,000 meters. This was over a little bit shorter. 1,800 meters. Was running on at the end. Guys, I just also want to say, please excuse me with this PDF to scroll up and down. It's really sometimes difficult. Just know this horse ran behind Dance Class, and Dance Class has won again. So it looks like this horse is coming into form. Definitely have a chance. Arkon Valley, Charles Mabaya, also a competent rider. Last time out, I did recommend this filly. She has run some fair races. I don't know what happened in those middle 2 races, but she came back after a race, 2.75, but she didn't finish too well. No finish. There she ran over 2,000 meters behind Irish Dame, and also didn't ran on. So it looks to me like this filly can be a bit outpaced, but maybe she can find herself in the front part of the race, and with the tracks running fast, she might keep on galloping, because she looks to me more like a galloper, like than a horse that can come from behind and finish. Then the race of is not too inspiring. Last year he's signing Lyndon Gray. This horse will appreciate a 2,000 meter Jam Alley, and I think that this horse is also a big runner. Last year in the betting is like 6-1. So that is one horse that you definitely cannot leave out. I'm not sure about the jockey. I don't know his ability. Then there's not much else that we can look at. Just 1 or 2 here at the bottom that number 13. Yeah, Pomodoro is in Costa del Lago. I was thinking that this horse will improve, but now maybe today is the day that this horse will really start improving. It has had now 2 races, didn't fare too well, but I think in this race, in a weak field, this jockey has won quite a few races for Sin and Grace. So number 13, including your play, whatever it is, the horse is 20 to 1. If it comes in, you'll be in the payout queue laughing and thanking Outsider Genie. So do put this in your quartets and trifectas. This horse might be due for improvement. Or maybe after race you're all going to laugh at me. Clue Girl, Master of My Fate by National Emblem. Yeah, this horse did show a nice improvement, but a big thing with him is he's being ridden by Matsuale. Matsuale was a jockey that has actually went to the Jockey Academy, but he didn't complete his apprenticeship. But now he's a very competent rider, and he is 5 to 1 in a betting, also in with a huge chance. But I'm not sure about this breeding 2,000 meters, but you will have to wait and see what's happening here. So this is then race number 2, race number 1. Let's move on to race number 2. Race number 2 and race number 3 is both juveniles. I don't give selections on juvenile races if I can't help it, because at the end of the day, there's not a lot of form to go about. But let's look at the betting for your sake. Race number 2, Free Fantasy Flower 22 to 10, Brooklyn Bridge 12 to 5, 4 to 1 Swiss Bank, 5 to 1 Gimme Andy, Sunset Crusade 20 to 1, 28 to 1 Figurette, and higher price the rest. Let's look at race number 3. Now race number 3 is also the first leg of the Pick 6. Now, here we got number 10, Summerdale, 12 to 10. Didn't ran a bad first race, but not that inspiring. And then you have 2 first-timers, 28 to 10, Red 10, and 11 to 2, Copper Mountain, Trump's Express 8 to 1, Nicorako 12 to 1, 14 to 1, and better the rest. Now, just keep in mind, this is the first leg of the Pick 6. Oh, yes. They are scratching 7, 11, and 14 is scratched. Now, keep in mind that this is the first leg of the Pick 6 now. Remember, if you put in a first timer and the first timer win, then the first horse that has run before, that runs second, also counts for the Pick 6. But now the problem sometimes is you might now pop in number 10, Summerdale, and a first timer wins. But it has happened often in the past. I've seen that if that happens, the first timer wins, and then the tote favorite or the favorite runs, which you think is going to run second, get beaten. He runs first, and then a donkey runs second. So for purpose of the Pick 6, I would advise you to at least put in number 10, Summerdale, number 8, Red 10, just in case that if it first time I do win, Trump Express, and Nicaragua. Nicaragua doesn't have inspiring form, but he can, he might improve and run second. So because the other 2 horses is also first timers, 40 to 1, 50 to 1, and then 50 to 1 and more. I'll be surprised if any one of these horses here runs second. So then you are pretty much covered in your Pick 6. So for the Pick 6, I would put in 12, number 10, number 8, number 12, and number 6. That is what I would put in. Because even if number 2 wins, and number 8 runs second, and number 10 ran third, or say, let's say Nicorako ran third, then that Nicorako will be the one for the Pick 6. If you didn't include the first timers. If you do include the first timer, and this one wins, and any of the other first horses ran second, then you double up on your Pick 6. So that is my advice in race number 3. So let's move on to race number 4. Race number 4, we have another maiden plate. Let's quickly have a look there at race number 4. It's a maiden plate 1450. Remember, this is the classics track. So that's the old sand track now that they're using. Let's look at the betting again here quickly. Gypsy King 23 to 20, 72 back to black, 19 to 4 champion Champing at the bit, 11 to 1, Court Jester, Bartolomea 16 to 1, Drummer Odd 16, 16 Rampage, 20 to 1, and longer the rest. So let's have a look here at race number 4. So race number 4, number 1, Bartolomea's. This horse has run here and there. He ran decent races. They ran second behind the It Factor. The It Factor came over the weekend, and he won a race. Croatian has also won another race, and then last week at the fall, this horse was going from the front, was running, was in the front for a long time, but then it failed because I think the pace was too fast for him. I think the 14, 15 will be better. He'll be better suited. This horse comes at 16 to 1. Definitely a horse that you should include in your pick 6 and quartet plays as well. Number 2, Court Jester is a Porter Palace. Only had 3 runs. I don't know what happened there. The last run in December has been off for a long rest, but as is stable, is in form. Jockey DL Habib is in form, and definitely a horse that you need to give a chance. Just for interest, there he ran behind Alborak, and Alborak is definitely a horse with a nice ability, so do include into your play. Then number 4, Rampage, maybe a good inclusion for the quartet, back end of the quartet. Drawn 17, well, that will be 14 because only 40 runner, that makes it a bit difficult. Spooky has run a few races, maybe back ends of quartets. Zigzag is one of these Belinda horses that can come up anytime, but also the draw might be against him, but also maybe you want to include that in the back end of your quartets. I'm not going to run through all of the horses. My Kingdom is an was here in Joburg and then moved to Kimberley, but now back again here. Also wide draw, wait for improvement. You know, I want to get to number 12, back to back to black. Now this horse did run a few days ago in the Vaal at 1600 meters. Didn't run too badly, no answer to winner, but is coming to form. And nicely it ran on second fastest 400, third fastest 400, and to my mind, number 12, back to black, the horse to beat in this field. Then we have Champing at the bit, also has been there about 5 lengths, 6 lengths, but can improve in this field. Not this rollicking romp has thrown quite a few nice foals in her time. And then we get to the favorite, the Gypsy King. Also ran on 22nd of June, first time out in Work Riders, ran in 4th behind Able Surprise. Luke Ferrara's riding for his granddad, and yeah, definitely a horse that has got a chance. So also want to include into your play. Then we move on to race number 5. Race number 5 is a difficult race. The favorite here is Dance Class, and that has now won 2 in a row, 3 to 1, and she will be really a good horse if she wins 3 in a row. Then Turtle's Bullet, 11 to 2, won in Durban the other day over this type of distance. Pink 23 to 4, 7 to 1, Illuminate, Palace Green 7 to 1, Ideal Cut 12 to 1, Littlewood 16 to 1, Emerald Bull 16, Emerald Bay, Glamorous Scandal 16, Tough Choice 20, Village Deep 20, Poppycock also 16 to 1 and 30 to 1 and 40 the rest. So this is difficult for me. It's an open race. I don't know. This is the first time that I see this. It's 2,000 meters. They call this a classified stakes. I got no idea what that means, but it just means it's some sort of a stake race. We're looking at Class D, rating 68. For those who do not know that, this is a very important information, because you're looking at a Class D, and then your average merit rating for this race is 68. Then you compare that to a horse that this horses run against. So in this case, you use this column just to measure in what class this horse has competed before. So as I said, number 1, Turtle's Bullet did win in Scottsville the other day, won a nice race. It was my one of my better bets of the day, and it duly won at a nice price. Tough choice. Yeah, has had 2 wins, but this horse is running always there and thereabouts and can upset on his day. Last time, run in a much higher class in the future, didn't show, and before that in a lower class was there and thereabouts. But it's deep, always trying his best. There's one roundabout in this class a few runs back, also run in that future, the Gold Bell, but never future there. As I said before, I can't discuss all the roses. Yes, Mo is Vivendi. This filly is by Jam Addy Mare and stays well. 2,400 shouldn't be a problem, but not the type of horse and not a type of race that I will put my house on. Did win at 16-1 last time, surprising. The stable mate was stately home, and that was much shorter. So the win was probably not expected. Now, I'm just checking something. Okay. Then race 6, Illuminate. This is one of the better weighted races, horses in the race. If you just go back up again, I just want to show you. According to this, the best handicap is Dance Class, Illuminate, Littlewood, Pink, and Ideal Cut. But in this kind of race, it doesn't always work out that way. So we now have number 6, Illuminate. But I think the Illuminate has got a chance. There she ran behind Pompadour, which is not a donkey. Chatengo ran a future of the day. Factor 50 has won again. So number 6, Illuminate, you might definitely in with a big chance. Currently 7-1 in the betting. Then let's move on. Number 6, number 7, Palace Green. Yeah, always there and thereabouts. 490 days since last win. Has won 1 race, 15 races. Always there and thereabouts, but can't find the winning enclosure. Now, this number 8, Poppycop. According to this, it's not very well handicapped, but it's carrying -4, and that's definitely going to make a difference. This horse has beaten this one over this type of distance by 8 lengths, beating Magic Vision, and then it ran against the Boss Bok. Magic Vision has won since. The Boss Bok has also won since. Imperial Ruby, 5 lengths. Imperial Ruby. Imperial Ruby has won after that and has won the Gold Bowl the other day. Skimac has won again. So this horse is bumping nice fields. And if you look, this is a 68 there, it's a 77, 70, 75. I don't know what happened here last time. Okay, it says here it was like there was a problem at the start, so ignore this run. It was also over 2,000, would be looking, and I'm telling you, this is, in my mind, this is one of the horses to beat in this race, Poppycock. And I think it's 20-1, Poppycock, 16-1. I think that this is very nice value for, and very nice each way bet. I'm sure you're going to have a run for your money. Then we move on to number 11, Pink, has won, but in a lower division last time, beating Wisp of Light, and then ran 4 lengths, can come up and surprise. But I think in this race today, there might be others that has got better chances. Emerald Bay also runs on and has run a few places. Last time I got beaten by Pink by 6 lengths. I don't know if it can reverse that form. Glamorous Scandal, although only a 2-time winner, this horse has run some decent places. There she beat Crystal Stream, and then Crystal Stream beat her again. So, but the kind of horse that can surprise last time, nearly surprised at long odds, running second to Gold Griffin. At one stage, it was looking like she was going to win, and then Gold Griffin flew up from nowhere to nab her on the line. So definitely a difficult race. Ideal Cut also have a chance, also running places. Already 411 days since last win, is now a due for a win at any time. And also in the column for best weighted horses, so also definitely a horse in with a chance. Right, now we're the reserve runner, so let's move on to the next race, which is the sixth race, which is a graduation plate. So let's look at the betting first. Here the betting is number 2, Captain Ironside 2-1, Spring Break 15-4, Junfist 9-2, Niagara 5-1, Arapo 8-1, Green Constant 14, Land of the Brave 16, Crown Garden 20, Election Great 20, and Country Square 50-1. Right, normally in a graduation plate, you look at the best weighted horses, so let's look at that first. Our best weighted Junfist is number 7, Junfist. Spring Break, Navarre, Arapo, and Land of the Brave. So let's quickly run through this field. Number 1 is coming off from a lengthy rest, and hasn't run since April 2019. That's like 458 days, and this last win was 979. That's like 3 years ago. That means when he was still, that was in November 2017. My goodness. This was his second race, looks to me like. And I don't know, maybe this horse must have a problem or something, but they believe in its ability. But you have to wait and see on this horse's um, fitness. I see it's still a horse, not a gelding, so maybe they look to breed with this in the future. Um, looks like it could be nice breeding. Now, Captain Hindsight is not in a well-weighted column, but this horse is running so well, and I do think that this horse has got scope for improvement. It's going to go hard, and it can really come in. It can win again. So definitely a horse that you need to include. Let's go past Arapo. It's also, you never know what's going to happen. This horse run good races and then bad races, so you never know which one is going to pitch up here. I think Crown Guardian very much out of the weights. The Land of the Brave is also this horse. He run against some strong fields. He's always there and thereabouts. Last time handy, no more. That was after the rest. Might have neither run, can strip fitter, can be definitely maybe be involved in the finish, include in your play. Junfist, over 1,000 meters. I really believe the 1,000 meters is too short for this horse. We'll be running on at the end, but I do think the are horses that can beat this filly. Then we get into Green Constant. Green Constant surprised when he won its maiden, beating Captain Hindsight. Last time out ran 3.5 lengths behind Team Catter. This is the horse that can improve. It's a 4-year-old, has only had 4 runs. So definitely a horse that you can include in your quartets and trifectas. I think the horse to beat is number 9, Spring Break. This horse won well, and then ran 4.5 lengths. There's a filly behind the Colts, behind Eden Rock in Scottsville at the Gold Medallion, and then came back and won the juvenile plate. Then went to Gravel and ran there in a second in a future behind African Warrior. And then also ran in a big race in Cape Town behind Cartel Captain and Invada. And last time out, Riverine, much stronger company than she's meeting today. She was there, but only faded over the 1,200 meters. I really think she needed that run. And based on that, even there was a much stronger field. I think this is the horse to beat. I also see it was a 1.8 million purchase, so she must really be a looker. She is well bred, a trippy out of a Marve. Miss October was not a donkey herself, so I believe that this horse, Spring Break, is a strong fancy to win this race. Country Square out on the weights, can't see it win here. Then we move race number 7 of 8. Let's look at the betting quickly. Here the betting is 12-5, Epic Dream, Ispan 72, Big Blue Marble 72, Sinfonico 7-1, 16-1, Impressive Duchess, Grease Paint 14, Silver Master 14, 20 to 1 the rest. Okay, so let's have a look at this race. Number 1 is not in form. Number 2, Sinfonico. Now this horse really, sorry, I just want to scroll back here quickly. We want to have a look here. Class B86, so that's what we're looking at here, Class B86. Sinfonico is a type of horse that can really surprise. Last time out ran against much stronger. She ran in the 97, now back in the 86. 2 runs ago, she won the 80, was beaten by Big Blue Marble, and I think Blue Marble can beat her again. But with Cornet Speech, you never know. Sometimes his horses can improve like you can't believe. So I will not be leaving out this horse. This one horse will definitely go into my pick 6, Sinfonico. Epic Dream, yeah, Epic Dream has run against some of these horses. Last time out behind Marshall was there and then faded. Now back in the lesser class. But yeah, it has got a chance, but it's not a certainty. Ispahan is 8-year-old running out of his skin, getting -2.5, always run there and thereabouts, and can surprise. Do include in your play. Life is Good ran a few nice races a year ago, but now seems to be a little bit off form. Wait for improvement. Impressive Duchess has run some impressive races. Can also another speech inmate, Pierre Strydom on board, can never disregard and can pop up and cause an upset. I think in the betting she's like 14 to 1. Yeah, this is upset material. So if you want, do include into your whatever play you do. 7 Grease Paint, also a 9-year-old already, still winning races. But I think, age is catching up with him, and I think he'll find it hard to win in this company today. Big Boom Blue Marble, he went start to finish last time. The horse likes to go to the front, and this being this type of courses we now are on, definitely prefer this going. You can see there, a year ago he ran also Naval Classic 1200 meters, also one start to finish. So now it's that time of the year again. So do you have include? How does it taste? Won his first race and then ran behind Gunston and Mardi Gras, and but hasn't shown much, but can improve. Last time 5.25. Definitely a horse that can be looking for improvement. Silver Master, ex-Cape Town horse, has a number of runs of Baron Boertes. Haven't showed much lately. 2 runs ago ran one length behind Ispahan, but I'm not sure if this can go in today. On Master Builder, yeah, went to the front last week at Turpentine on Sunday, but faded. I don't think this will be a danger for today. So let's look at race number 8. Here the betting is number 4, Pacific Winter 2 to 1, 92 Precious Stone, Touch of Fate 17 to 2, 12 to 1, Pillar of Earth 12 to 1, Star Flash Garden Party, Dotty G 14, and the rest 16 to 1 and better. So let us have a look here. Just want to make sure here we want to look at the class C79. Here's number 9. Number 9 is getting 2.5, so it's only carrying 60. Down in class, has been run against stronger. Here's a 79, but he has run against 83s, 80s, and didn't run too badly. So definitely a horse in chance of with the minus do definitely bring this horse into contention. Donny G, a 7-year-old, 607 days since his last win, runs the good race now and then, -4, that can bring him also in to be involved in the finish. Informative has got informative in different form, will pass now. Here's number 3, Pacific Winter. It's a Watton Winter out of a Q Danzig. must be very fast. One is third race, relatively easy, and now back again against a little bit of stronger. So one will have to wait and see, how this horse perform against stronger opposition. Pillar of the Earth also there and thereabouts. Definitely last time out running a little bit on behind Captain Outside. Definitely a danger. Definitely can have a chance winning this race. But I've stopped tipping this horse. It's 677 days since his last race that he won. I have tipped him before for a few times, always to be disappointed. And maybe the day that you don't tip it will be the day that it wins. Now let's get to 7 precious stone. Now, as we said, the merit rated average in this race is a 79. Now, if you have a look at this, 90, 86, 84, Land of the Brave, Galactic War, Big Blue Marble, this horse, Marshall, Leopold, there it won, beating Rock the Kaiser, something like that. I think in this race today, in my mind, this is the best. This is the best bet of the day. Running against weaker opposition, look for riders as riding the winners for Sean Terry, and I think that this horse today will be hard to beat. At currently at betting at 92, help yourself, go and stand in the queue. I think this horse will go close to win this race. 8 Star Flash won last time out of before the rest. We'll have to wait and see if we can maintain that form. Pearl of Siberia, always a danger, has won 5 races at long odds mostly of the time. But yeah, last time out didn't fare too well, but it's getting -2.5, so it can surprise. Holy Man won after the break at 40-1, and since then has had 2 races, but been dead and about. We'll have to see if this horse can improve, but the type of horse that can be involved in a finish and upset. King's Road won a maiden last time out. We'll have to wait and see if she can bring it up as the form before that wasn't too strong, and it's now also coming off a rest. So we'll have to wait and see. Garden Party, it's a 2-year-old running against older horses. Ran a dismal race last time. Wait and see. Wait for improvement to see what happens. Touch of Faith is also a horse that's always there and thereabouts. Has run against a little bit of stronger opposition. So you can see a Galactic Warrior, Sinfonico, all of that. So I think this horse can be the biggest danger to number 7, Precious Stone. Certifiable with Strydom on board. This horse is always a danger. You never know which one is going to pitch up for the day. If he wants to, he can run like a champion, and he already has won 5 races. Can't be a donkey, but difficult to access because he doesn't run 2 good races in a row, but can surprise today with Strydom on board. So that brings us to the conclusion of our preview for today. I hope you make some money, and as I always say, break a leg.